WRFU LP Urbana 104.5 FM, you're listening to the show.
On October 5, 2006, the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign chapters of Zeta Beta Tau Fraternity Incorporated and Delta 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 Sorority Incorporated held a racist exchange or greeting party called Tacos and Tequila, and also referred to as Fiesta. At this event, members dressed as farmers and gangbangers. Students wore t-shirts with pillows stuffed underneath to represent pregnant women. Members wore sombreros, used the Mexican flag as part of their outfits, and displayed it in inappropriate ways. These students shared these photos online via Facebook with other individuals and for the global community to watch and view. This type of event happens every year here at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, whether or not it's highly publicized. It also takes place across the country at various other institutions of higher education. You can see in this picture 2 students wearing sombreros and holding maracas. In this picture, you can see many students wearing sombreros with a piñata hanging overhead. In this photo, you can see more of the stereotypical outfits being worn, along with the Mexican flag being utilized as wear. In this image, you can see more individuals wearing stereotypical outfits and also wearing the Mexican flag in inappropriate fashions. You can see in this photo several individuals wearing the Mexican flag as a dress. The following rally was organized by Students Transforming Oppression and Privilege, the STOP Coalition, and occurred on October 31, 2006, when it became apparent that the university administration would not hold ZBT and Delta 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 accountable for their actions.
Today we are gathered here to send a message, and that message is that we will no longer remain silent on this campus. Each of us as students is here at this university to better ourselves through education, and it is within our right to do so in a hate-free environment, free from the constraints of discrimination and stereotypes. The student code enumerates the types of values that members of the campus community must hold in order to advance the goal of education. These values include free and open expression within limits that do not interfere with the rights of others, respect for the dignity of others. With every unanswered breach of this contract, every unchecked act of intolerance or instance of mass stereotyping, the edifice on which our so-called community is built is weakened. Some may question how a stereotype in and of itself can be constraining. When false and negative assertions about a group or group of people are continually sanctioned by institutions such as this university, a disconnect between that group and the larger institutional sphere is created. This undermines the goal of creating a campus community and effectively mutes the voices of those who are disenfranchised. Today we gather to raise our collective voices towards the end of liberation from a secondary status on this campus. Here we are, almost several weeks after the Tacos and Tequila exchange night took place, and we haven't yet been able to sit down with the chancellor. The administration has yet to issue a public statement condemning this event. Here we are, 38 years after Project 500, and blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are still underrepresented on this campus. Last year, fall of 2005, out of over 7,200 students, the university admitted 499 black students, 510 Latino students, and 25 Native American students. These numbers have not changed, even though the admitted number of students has. So actually, the proportion of us has been decreasing over time. Here we are, over 40 years after the passing of the Civil Rights Act, and students on this campus are still subjected to discrimination at a state institution that receives federal funding, a clear violation of Title IV of the Civil Rights Act. The Student Code has yet to address hate crimes or acts of intolerance, and the students responsible for such events have yet to be formally sanctioned. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about more than one degrading party, one offensive mascot, one individual sorority or fraternity. This is about a recurring theme of discrimination on this campus. Coupled with a lack of response from the administration. Let's be clear, an apology does not begin to make amends for the wrongs that have been done. One workshop is not enough, one public statement doesn't cut it either. It's just a start, and that's only part of what we are asking for today. Today, we're asking that the administration of this university begin to live up to what is iterated in their mission statement, to transform lives and serve society through education, which includes making students aware of diversity, privilege, and helping students to forge a collective human identity, as well as upholding standards of respect for all people. The pattern of discrimination on this campus constitutes a failure on the part of the administration to set and enforce clear community standards, and today we're calling for a rigorous overhaul of the current status quo. We are going to be passing around a letter that enumerates the types of changes we want to see on campus. I would like for everyone out here to sign it, and we're going to deliver that to the administration. And basically, to sum it up, we want action, justice, and liberation. So can we say that as a crowd? Action, justice, liberation. Action, justice, liberation. Action, justice, liberation. Action, justice, liberation. All right, peace, guys.
Good afternoon. My name is Osvaldo Torres. I am a sophomore here at the U of I. And today I am here to not only discuss this incident, but how we should respond to it. And I've been here for about 1.5 years now. And the biggest problem I've seen on this campus is that between all of us cultural communities, we cannot work together. We are, when it comes to working together and taking credit for events that go on this campus, everyone wants to be there. No one here wants to be part of the movement. Everyone here wants to lead the movement. And what we need to recognize is that the only way that things are going to get done here is if we work together. There's a saying that in unity there lies strength. And we will never get our point across if there's 35 of us going in different directions. Because we don't realize this. That we are hurting ourselves, we are hurting our community. We are allowing for injustices like this to go on this campus because we would rather look out after ourselves than look out after each other. It is time for a change. It is time for us to step back, to put our egos aside, to put our organizations behind us, to put our letters behind us, to step up together and unify ourselves, and to stand up as one voice that's going to speak out at this university and say that we've had enough. We will no longer be disrespected on this campus. Our cultures will no longer be mocked. We will no longer be made fun of. We will no longer be told that we don't deserve to be here. And it all starts with one step. And that is unifying ourselves. And just remember, guys, 200 voices are a lot louder than 35 different ones. And it was said at a meeting that we had that the university hasn't heard from us. That every time that racial intolerant acts occur on this campus, that everyone talks, but no one comes up to the university. The university says that they heard nothing from us. That's right. I hope they see this. I hope they see that these 200 people here, 300 people, they care. And they're speaking out against it. And if they can't see all these people, well, we're going to make ourselves louder. We're going to keep on knocking on that door. And we will not stop until we achieve that respect. It does not matter if you're African American, if you're Asian American, if you're a Native American, if you're Latino, if you're from the city or if you're from the suburbs. We are all one cultural community, and until we realize this, we are not going to get anywhere. I would like to leave by the way I started in saying that in unity there lies strength. Remember 9/11? They said that united we stand, divided we fall? Well, we're falling right now, guys. And we need to get back up.
Hey everyone, my name is Wendy Finley. I'm a junior in the College of LAS. And I know we're all here because we're really mad about what's going on campus. But like the previous speaker said, it's not just this one incident. This whole college creates an environment of intolerance. Starting with the chief, the so-called chief who honors Native Americans. I don't feel any honor, and I'm not even Native American. Before, in the past, the chief had a black sidekick and an Asian sidekick, and people don't know about that. They're gone now, but the chief is still here. If one's racist, why isn't the rest? So this whole party was created in an environment that doesn't condemn these kind of acts. Yesterday at work, well, Friday at work, I work at Photo in Walgreens, and a man came up to me and he said, "Your name's Wendy, right?" And I asked him why. And he says, "You're doing that rally, right?" And I tell him I can't discuss it at work. And he says, "You shouldn't be discussing it at all." They're getting harassed. I call that harassment. I don't know who that was, but it's not going to scare me. All that shows me is that they're scared of the power that we have.
That's right.
Students nowadays don't realize that we have power. We pay tuition. We're the ones who are, the reason African Americans are living on campus is because we forced them to let us through this door. We make the changes on this campus, and it's time to make some more. Second of all, people say that it's not a big deal. It's not this one act that I'm going against. Like Katrina. Hurricane Katrina didn't cause all the poverty, but Hurricane Katrina showed them all. This is not equivalent. Don't get me the wrong way. Hurricane Katrina was horrible. But these parties are showing that this problem exists. We need to stop. Last year we had the ghetto parties and no one did anything about that. And now look what happens this year. This year we have tacos and tequila? Really? I'm a photo tech at Walgreens, like I said earlier, and yesterday I developed a picture of a girl who dressed up in blackface for Halloween. When did this become acceptable again? We've moved from institutionalized racism back to this individual acts of prejudice. Now, I always knew institutionalized racism was here, but this is blowing me. This is really, there's nothing. You can't understand this because it's not comprehensible. We need to let them know that if like Osvaldo said, if we unite, we outnumber. And that's where our power lies. It's not acceptable. Like I said, I'm a junior here, and I've been seeing these acts of intolerance going on since my freshman year. And I'm sure before that. Last year, writing the N-word in the residence halls, but we're so advanced? No. The attacks over the summer, we've all heard about it and we haven't said anything. Like Osvaldo said, we're silent, we're mute, but we're not going to be mute. We're going to find our voice. And the fact that you all are here tonight shows me that you're ready. We can't be afraid because change is all around us. It's time to make that change a big one and let them know that we mean business. We're not going to live with this. I paid to go here. Why would I pay to be treated wrong? Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Julianne Chu, and I believe I was asked to speak today for two reasons. One is that I am the president of Together Encouraging the Appreciation of Multiculturalism, better known as TEAM, and the other is that I am an Asian American. As the president of TEAM, which is an organization that is in its very mission attempts to alleviate prejudice and to foster an understanding and comfortable community for all, I felt like I needed to speak. As a female member of the Asian American community, I felt like there was no question that I needed to be here today with you. I am not only part of a marginalized community in society in general, but I am part of a community that is thought to be silent, thought to be submissive and passive about the discrimination they face in the midst of their struggles to fit into American culture every day. That's only in addition to the fact, however, that today I'm speaking to you as a student who just also happens to be a student leader of a cultural organization, as well as part of a minority community. I am speaking to you today as a student because I believe it's essential that we, as students of the university, enact our rights as freedom of speech and protest, and to assemble and speak publicly about what we believe are pressing concerns in our campus community. I believe that it's essential that I, as well as all students, get the opportunity to not only learn but live, thrive in an understanding campus environment. Notice that I didn't call it a tolerant campus environment where all we do is simply tolerate one another and our differences. I believe that we must work actively for an understanding and knowledgeable community that doesn't simply brush aside the differences that make us who we are, but instead focuses and fosters communication between these diverse groups for a better understanding of what makes us who we are as individuals and as part of a larger ethnic or cultural group. After all, our purpose as students on this campus shouldn't just end inside the classroom where we learn what it takes to get our degrees. Our purpose on this campus should also be to effect change in a community where we still can have our voices heard relatively well, as compared to the outside real world that we're being prepared for. This real world and the people in it don't necessarily care about what our degrees are. This real world that our degrees are prepared for may or may not care about tacos and tequila or pimps and hoe themed parties that are held on the same street where you live back home. But the student community on this campus surely does care, as all of us standing here today know. That being said, I believe that any real change in such a large university campus starts with the students themselves. It starts with us challenging the administration for better ways of holding students accountable for their actions and not just disciplining them for what they have done wrong. Because in the end, it's not just a matter of punishments and apologies. It's a matter of the wrongdoers sincerely acknowledging and understanding why what they did was wrong. It starts with us coming together as a diverse and passionate group of people that we are to enact our visions of coalition building and intercultural collaboration in times of crises like this one that we're living right now. It starts with diverse groups of people coming together to show the administration that we, as a collective voice, are demanding more campus-wide change on the administrative level. There is power in numbers, and your presence here reminds us of that fact. Although we are rallying today to show the university our discontent with the way acts of intolerance have been handled recently, and specifically by how the tacos and tequila exchange was handled, we have effectively taken some of the first steps towards creating large-scale change. What I will be taking from being part of this rally is not just the memory of having done something in response to the incident, but also the inspiration of having all of you listen to what a tiny voice in the grand scheme of things, had to say. I hope that all of you have found that inspiration of having your voices heard today, and I hope that the administrators are inspired too by what they hear and see today, not just from me, but from the speakers before me, and the chants that we raise our voices to chant today. After all, it's only when we're together as a group that our tiny individual voices can collectively form a loud, sharp shout for change.
My name is Brian Montes. I'm a graduate student here at the University of Illinois. What happened? Make some noise! Yeah, make some noise! While I don't represent any organization, I believe I represent a whole community of people who are asking for respect. No, we're not asking for it, we're demanding it because it's not being given to us. I've been given 5 minutes to talk, and I'm gonna do in 5 minutes what the university administration hasn't been able to do in their entire existence. I'm gonna talk about racism. I'm not talking about multiculturalism. I'm not talking about pluralism. I'm not talking about diversity. That's the way the administration likes to frame the campus and climate. I'm talking about racism. You see, a lot of times people think racism is defined by an act of hate, a lynching, a beating, a mobbing. That's not what racism is, okay? Racism is a historical legacy of power and privilege. Those who have the power and those who have the privilege oftentimes reenact racism. They participate in acts of racism. This this exchange between this fraternity and sorority, that's an act of racism. The way students of color are treated on campus, that's an act of racism. The fact that administration hasn't said anything about this is an act of racism. In fact, I think we got some ZBT people in this crowd taking photos of us. I don't know why they're taking the photos, but if you want to know who I am, just come to me directly. You don't need to take photos of me. I'll address you in any situation, in any way. So what we need to do as a campus community is we need to address these forms of racism. And they're not even addressing the situations when people get jumped on the quad. That's overt signs of racism. The administration is not even addressing that. So to think that they're going to address institutional racism, they're not going to do that. We need to demand that they do that. We need to take it to their door. They need to amend the student code. We want action now. For those who are interested, following the rally, there will be a protest. The protest will be outside of the Greek houses because they need to see the community that they offended. Not only do they have to hear us, they need to see us. We have a face, we have a history. They haven't done that yet. They haven't come to us. They haven't said anything to us. Just yesterday, we got an apology. Yesterday, ironically, they issued an apology the day before a protest. Why wasn't an apology issued the day after their exchange? We have to put pressure on them for them to issue an apology. That's the only way we get things done on this campus, by putting pressure on individuals and putting pressure on the administration. Racism is institutional and it's individual, and we need to call out everyone who participates in it. Thank you.
Justice, liberation! Action, 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 justice, liberation!
Respect.
What's good, everybody? I don't think I can follow that, you know what I mean? Because he was hot. You know what I mean? I think we should give it up for all the speakers so far, you know what I mean? Seriously. Very serious. Okay, if you don't know who I am, my name is Chime Sonye. I'm the Vice President of African Culture Association. I'm also on the Cultural Minority Affairs Committee for Illinois Student Senate. I didn't come out here with a speech or anything like that, but I did want to make an announcement for y'all. You know, my guy over here talked about taking charge of your institutions, institutional racism. What we need to do as a community is take charge of our institutions, and because of that, thank you right there. Take charge of our institutions, take over. You know what I mean? So tonight, the Illinois Student Senate, we're creating a resolution based on, the climate of these events. At 8:30 in the Illinois Student Senate office in the RSO complex, 8:30, listen up, the Cultural Minority Affairs Committee is creating a resolution with this. This is something our community, me as Vice President of African Culture Association, can come to administrators, chancellors and everything like that and make our demands heard. Not only that, so that's 8:30 in the Illinois Student Senate office. You can contact me, Facebook me, hit me up, and we could, go there together. At 7 o'clock on Wednesday, Illinois Student Senate is having their full student government meeting, which is tape televised and everything like that. What I would love to see, is that us as a community, not just rally over here, rallying in student government. Let us see, because it's people who represent you. Let them see y'all. Not just the campus. Let's see the people who are representing you right now. 7 o'clock in the Pine Lounge. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to be involved with the resolution, take charge of our institutions, our resources, and use that, then 8:30 in the Student Center office. Thank you.
I would just like to point out, I know a lot of us are here because of the kind of bottled anger and hostility towards the events that occurred on October 5th, but I would really like to reiterate that it's so much larger than that. And honestly, I wasn't surprised by what happened because individuals can only operate in a context, and that context is this administration. There's a legacy of racism on this campus. There's a history of inaction. I mean, here we are. Why is it that this school has an exclusive Coca-Cola contract when Coca-Cola is doing shady stuff overseas? Why is it that your tuition dollars are spent on subsidizing genocide in Sudan if you didn't know the Illinois State teacher pension plans are invested in companies that do business in Darfur, so your tuition dollars do subsidize genocide? This is bigger than this one event, this one party, or this one mascot. It is just the environment that is facilitated on this campus. When individual actions are repeatedly sanctioned by the university, it elevates from just plain old, oh, well, this was wrong, to just discrimination, all in all discrimination. I'm like really frustrated by this. I'm really happy to see that you guys are all here, but I encourage you to take it a step further. Like, coming out here is a display of our solidarity. We're unified as people, but let's take it a step further towards action. We're having a business meeting on next Monday at 7 o'clock at La Casa. If you're interested in actually being a part of developing a proposal for the university and furthering this through the media and doing further action beyond just being here today, I would hope to see you guys all there.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Selena Piedmova. I'm the president of the Mexican Student Association on campus. I wanted to let you know on November 9th there will be a board of trustees meeting, and we're trying to get space allocated for us to speak to them about the situation and the hostile environment on campus. So if you please come out and support. The meeting's going to be in Springfield on Springfield campus, but we still need people to come out and support. So we make it clear to both administration, the board of trustees, and everyone else that this is important, that we don't want to be less than these individuals who did all of this. So please come out and support. It's 9 o'clock in the morning in Springfield on the 9th. So please
talk about racism.
How y'all doing? I'm Akiele Omwole. This is cool. I'm glad to see everybody out here. This is tight. I'm loving this. You know, I love y'all. All y'all who came out here, I appreciate y'all for coming out here. This is great. You know what I'm saying? Give y'all some hands. I know y'all had class, y'all been sleeping, being heralds. But y'all out here, you know, this is great. We definitely need to be having ourselves out here showing that we care about what's going on campus. Because if we show that we don't care, the stuff's going to continue on. Simple as that. If you show you don't care, they say there's no problem with it. They don't care. The only thing I urge y'all to do is that don't let it die with today. We have this big crowd over here, but we need everybody stepping up, doing what they need to do so that this can end. It's 2006. It's 2006. This don't need to be going on. What is that? It's 2006. So you need to put it out there, let everyone know on this campus, in this country, in this state, period, in this world, that this is not going to continue. As simple as that. This is not going to continue. So don't let this idea, don't let this feeling die with just today. We have to let this continue on, let this keep going. All right? That's all I have to say.
Hi, I'm Gordon Spiegel, and I'm really nervous speaking in front of crowds, but I'll say, speaking in a larger context, what this is indicative of, it's like, I don't know, 4 years we're all going to be out of here, and these people that did the little party, and I mean, it's a larger scale. Like, I just got out of the military a few years ago, and like the biggest recruiting station for the United States military is Puerto Rico, and they recruit young men and women down there that don't even have a right to vote, and it's like, to draw this into a larger scale, it's like there's a disproportionate amount of African Americans and Latinos in the front lines of the military, and it's this, and that's just a continuation of what starts here in college. It's like these people get together, they graduate, and through nepotism and because of their economic privilege, they get in jobs and positions of power that they probably didn't earn, that they don't even warrant. And it continues, and as a result, the people that don't have the money to go to college, or the people that weren't given adequate education, are forced to enlist, forced to work jobs that support the entire economy in the country, and then we get these privileged kids from the North Shore of Chicago that come down here and marginalize and have these parties where they really have no idea what it's like to struggle or to do anything that is. I'm getting a little nervous, so that's all I got.
Look, I'm going to keep it real brief. Basically, we all know this is institutional. We look at our politicians and our real leaders and our policymakers nowadays, and we look at the messed up policies that they make and they create. This is our values that are passed on from generation to generation. These kids, these are tryouts, these administrators, the ZBTs, whoever's participating and agreeing to this racism, institutional racism, these are values that they were taught. You know what I'm saying? This is something that they were taught to believe in. And these are, unfortunately, the people that are going to get degrees and hold positions of power, and potentially hold positions of power in the future. So we really need to work to deconstruct these myths that they believe Mexicans are walking around pregnant. You know what I'm saying? That the Mexican women are walking around pregnant, that all Mexican men are farmers. Then we see the Mexicans here that are scholars that are about to be the leaders of the new generation. All Mexicans, all Latinos, all blacks, all Asian Americans, Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? They just see us through their color-coded lens. It's colored lens, just like my glasses right now. It's color-coded, you know what I'm saying? And they just see us through this narrow lens. And we gotta get them to see beyond that. And right now is the first step, staying unified. Like my man Ox said, we gotta stay unified and gotta go beyond this day. It can't be just today we're all out here angry, and then tomorrow everyone's gonna forget about it, and that rally is gonna be something you talked about. Oh, I went to a rally my freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year to step out against institutional racism. No, you want to say that I was there at the foundation when we tore down the institutional racism at the University of Urbana. Happy Halloween. Yo, give up to my man, everybody, Stephen Zucker right here. That was some great stuff right there last night. My name is Kevin Canales, some people know me as Double K. And what I believe is that this is a time of revolution, of change. And our first step toward revolution is education. We must educate ourselves on why we want to change. We want to realize this is not a black versus white or a brown versus white thing. This is a justice versus injustice thing. This is a tolerance versus racism thing. As an event that occurred at the university is a microcosm of the world that we live in today. And that these people, as they go into the world, they will hold positions of power, as he said. And we must let them know that these things cannot be tolerated either here nor in the world which we go into. And we must also reach into the community which we serve too. The things we face here are also just microcosms of things that people in our community face. So we must also unite with them.
That's the way that we'll bring change. That this will extend beyond this university. It will extend into Chicago, outside of Illinois, across this nation, across the globe. That change will occur. The only way that change can occur is if we extend. Is that we don't let our anger diffuse into apathy, and to say, I just did something for today, that we have to go beyond today, beyond tomorrow, beyond next week. Beyond this generation, we have to extend this to the generations coming. To our children, that change must come, and that this fight isn't over until the justice prevails.
My name is Milo Alvarez. I'm a PhD student from UCLA. I'm here visiting, and it's nice to be welcomed by such anti-Mexican sentiment upon my visit. What I wanted to say was that I wanted to share something with you. We at UCLA, when I was an undergraduate, had some very similar issue. A party, the Poetic House, had a songbook in which they talked about, or they sang about in their rituals, while they were patting each other on the behinds with their paddles, and singing songs to one another about the raping and the killing of a 9-year-old Mexican girl named Lupe. The Lupe song was something that we protested, and we actually planted a Mexican flag on the Poetic House, and they ran in and shut the doors, and that's how that went down. A few years earlier, the Poetic Pie House, or Pie House, or I don't know, one of those pies or whatever, there was a similar incident in which there was a Cinco de Mayo party, and the way you entered the party was that you had to dress like a Mexican. I'm not exactly sure which Mexican in particular, but one of them, maybe it was Frito Bandido, or maybe it was a guy on the cactus. I never got that one because the splinters would hurt your back, but it was one of those Mexicans. And the way you entered the party is that you had to actually crawl under a barbed wire fence while the Beta Pi brothers put water on your back so you can come in as a wetback, right? So anti-Mexican sentiment and anti-Mexican hatred is nothing new. It seems to be growing as the population of Mexicans grow throughout the Midwest and on the East Coast. I was just in New York, and now I know we're everywhere, right? Mexicanos are pretty much 250,000 strong in New York City now. Everybody complains about that, but that's how we do it. We do it regionally, right? But, I think that that's one of the things that you all are going to have to face on this campus, if I may be so presumptuous to say, being from Los Angeles and California, is an increasing anti-Mexican sentiment. Because the city of Chicago, and we need to get people down here from the city of Chicago, is the second largest Mexican city in the United States. Los Angeles, California is the second largest Mexican city in the world, outside of Mexico City itself. So this country is going to see a change over the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and when we have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, in terms of population that it's never seen before in history of its existence. I'm going to leave you with one more thing, because I am a historian. I do Chicano history, and out there we use the word Chicano. I don't know, maybe it's not quite as popular out here, but I'm a Chicano. I'm going to leave you with this last sort of note. We were here long before this was the United States of America. Our ancestors were here long before Christopher Columbus came. Long before Christopher Columbus came as an illegal immigrant across the Atlantic Ocean, and we will be here long after this is the United States of America.
Good afternoon, everyone. I come to the mic with a challenge. Basically, I'm looking around, I see a nice crowd, but there is no reason why there aren't more people out here. There's no reason why I know people that aren't here, and they're not doing anything. So I'm presenting a challenge to everyone to first get to know the people that are here, or reach out and learn somebody new so you can understand their struggle, understand their history, understand where they're trying to go in life. And then I also want to present another challenge to say, go let somebody know about it. Teach somebody, reach one, teach them. And bring them to the rallies, bring them, make sure they're aware of things that are going on in life. So that's my challenge to you all. Good evening.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joshua Clark. I'm the president of Fraternity Incorporated. And similar to what everybody said before me, I'm happy that so many people out here to support an event like this. Like, this is great for the administration to see everybody out here coming together as a whole. But the challenge I have to present to everybody, remind everybody else that change does not occur overnight. This is not something that's going to end with just this rally. And in a lot of situations like this, people get heated in the heat of the moment, and they come out and support one thing. And after that, they go back to their room, and the next day they don't remember it, or they forget all about it. And everybody said there's a lot of other things going on after today that I encourage everybody to go out and support. What's important about what's going on now is there is strength in numbers. This is one of the first times that racism on this campus has been combated with more than just one race coming at it. And that's a great thing to have all the different races come together and challenge something like this. So I just want to encourage everybody to stay motivated and stay involved, get involved in different committees, go to as many meetings as you can, let your voice be heard. Don't let your decisions be made by committees that you're not taking a part of. Everybody needs to have their voice heard in something like this. So continue to stay motivated and go out and support everything that's going on for this rally. Thank everybody for coming out.
My name is Genevieve Tinoso. I'm a Lakota and Ojibwe student at the university here. First year grad student. I did my undergrad here, so I learned a lot about institutional racism, and I thought I'd stay on to make a difference. First thing I want to address is the mascot issue. As a Native student, I know that we're all trying to that I have a lot of allies and supporters here trying to fight that, but we need to look closely at the politics of representation right there. And I think we've always made the point as anti-mascot fighters that it wasn't just the Native community that was going to be affected by issues of racist representation, and I think the latest exchange is just a point of that. It's becoming worse in my eyes, and people are getting a little more comfortable with being racist on this campus. And so we really need to look closely at our communities as people of color and challenge each other to do something about the mascot issue, because in my perspective, that's the most visible example of institutional racism, and that we tolerate it is just disgusting. And that administration isn't out here to talk to us about it says a lot. Silence condones these things, and we need to come forward and give voice and condemn it. Why was there a mass mailing about the flu shot last week? We're not addressing the sickness of institutional racism.
I have a couple things to say. Talking about coalition building and seeing everybody here together, please understand that in order for some type of change to occur on this campus, we have to keep this momentum going. You have to continue this. It doesn't just stop here, and it doesn't just stop getting your degree, because this is systematic, this is institutional, this affects us for the rest of our lives. You walk down the pod every day knowing that you're Mexican, or that you're black, or that you're anything else except white. So please remember that. Second of all, we are starting to build a coalition of students on campus to start writing a proposal to send to all levels of the university to start making some type of change on campus. And I don't mean just preventing parties such as the one that occurred, but I mean like real systematic change, where the fact that African American studies, Latino studies, Native American studies, and Asian American studies become majors and not just minors. Please don't think that this is the end of everything that's going on, because we will be continuing. There are still people working on things such as this. Chime talked about the resolution entering the Illinois Student Senate. Please come out and support. Please, if you want to be a part of this coalition, let me know. I have some paper. I will get your information, let you know when the meetings are. We will continuously be meeting throughout the semester, throughout the year, so please realize that. And what Steve just said right now, if your grades are bad, get on your grades before you start trying to get involved. I know you want to be involved, but the worse your grades are, the easier it's going to be for them to say, you know what, you don't count. So please stay on your grades, get your degrees, and do something bigger than you, because this issue is bigger than just me, than you, or anything else that we've ever seen. And okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. My goal is to try to sum up everything that this rally is about, everything that minority students on campus have been feeling via a poem, so bear with me. It's called Complacency. I want to be complacent. I want to straighten my hair, get rid of the kinks back there, and enjoy my somewhat fair skin. I want to walk down the street, my posture humble and meek, so that I can seek out invisibility. I want to be complacent. I want to hold my head down and smirk instead of frown when someone says the word nigga. I want to speak silently and have no one listen to me, so that I can blend in and be free of criticism. I want to be complacent.
I want to, with my modern apartment and car, listening to superstars, easily gentrify my culture as I laughed along to that rap song of how nothing is wrong with me being called a bitch. I want to be complacent, but I can't. I can't listen to the rant of how I shouldn't be black but normal. Say that the blood in my veins is one and the same as the ones who oppress me, but I reject that claim and I spit out the flames of non-conformity. How in the hell can I feel compelled to not excel but be free of stereotypes about my nappy hair, about how I'm better because I'm fair, and how you know more about my life than me? I need to burn up this list and raise my fist and destroy all complacency, because it's this term that is taught and eagerly learned to reaffirm, but only to some, that the fight for civil rights is over. It has been won. Well, fuck that notion. My people didn't cross the ocean seeking out the land of opportunity to be stolen and raped and chained to prevent escapes and mentally perverse and that will last centuries. No one can say that some people didn't pay when they were enslaved by your founders. Laws based on equality, but only for white men with property, so obviously excludes me that it's funny. How dare I be complacent when I live in the basement of American history and find buried treasure of how white men were clever enough to attempt to conform me. But it was only an attempt bought on by preemptive strikes upon my people. How dare I claim that to be complacent is the same as being one of them. With the depths in my heart, I know that I was chosen to embark on a path of wholehearted resistance and destroy complacency and destroy conformity and any other adjectives that suggest that I should forget my heritage, forget my past, and abandon the life of civil West. As I close, I see that my request for complacency cannot easily be fulfilled, because as long as I am black and under systematic attack, I will never go back to complacency.
Take care of some business, but man, you don't know how beautiful it is to see everybody out here. I just wanted to say something real quick. I was contemplating, man, but you know what? It's important that we communicate. Look, you guys are our future. Throughout history, students have always played a significant part in movements and making change. Defining what culture is, defining what UIUC is. I mean, does it always have to be something negative to get us here? To talk to each other, you know what I'm saying? We always depend on somebody else to bring us together. We need to make visions of what this should be. You guys got that power. You guys are creating space right now as undergrads, talking about visions, talking about how things will be, and you can make that. Because it's love that brings us together, and people will join this movement. If we all disperse and don't get together again, then nothing's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But look, I'm going to tell you a quick story because I know we're running out of time. I'm working for this organization in Chicago who created a plan to make a graduate program for Latino adults in the community where I come from in Pilsen. And they were working with 4 universities to create a program where people can get master's and PhD degrees in educational policy, leadership, speech therapy, and special education so we could work in the community. 3 universities signed on. Guess which one did it? Urbana-Champaign. The project, the proposition, the proposal is creating a vision of what education should be. You know what I'm saying? It wants to dismiss the fact that there are no Latinos that have these degrees, and we want to bring the school to the community so people can have these degrees, but yet UIUC says no. Why is that? We need to challenge that. We need to challenge that space. We're doing it. I appreciate it. I love you. And continue it, man. We're creating tomorrow. We're creating culture. It's all you, baby. What up? Alright, good afternoon. I just want to say something really quick. One thing we need on this campus is unity. I see a lot of like us, everyone, fighting amongst each other at the bars, starting fights, doing a lot of ignorance to each other. If we don't stop this and don't come together, we're not going to be able to accomplish anything. So we all need to put our pride aside and work for a common goal.
Just going to start off right quick, ask you your name and what year you are.
Okay, my name is Brian White, and I'm a senior here at the University of Illinois.
Okay, did you just see the rally?
Yeah, I saw the rally. I had a bake sale inside, and I came out to participate.
Okay, what was your impression of it?
My impression was it seemed like people were really serious about the actions of the sororities and exchanges here, and they really want to see some real changes. And I'm impressed by that because, you know, I've been, all the 4 years I've been here, I hadn't seen as much action as this since Project 500.
Okay. And in your view, do you think the administration's response thus far has been appropriate? Do you think it's been lacking? Do you think it's been enough?
I think it's been appropriate but lacking at the same time. It was enough for the current situation, but as far as preventing it from happening again and creating countermeasures for prevention as well is lacking.
And what steps are you going to be taking personally to move forward?
Well, I've already made some steps. I joined a committee on correspondence on the issue, and we're personally drafting petitions, and we're going to the Student Senate to amend the student code and bylaws, as well as to the dean, to ensure that this will not happen again and that there will be some definitive punishment for events like this.
A lot of serious comments from a man dressed up like a Zeus. Is it Zeus?
Yes, I'm a Greek god today.
Cool, thank you, man.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Thank you, man.
Never be divided. Our people united will never be divided.
University of Illinois.
Racism has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go, hey, hey, ho, ho.
You don't know why they're here? I don't know why they didn't speak with us, why they went above our heads and tried to...
What kind of statement do you think they're making?
Looks like they're protesting.
And do you think that it's going to impact the House right here at all? Are you interested in making contact with the people who are organizing?
They're not interested in making contact with us.
They're not interested.
They wouldn't make contact with us already.
Did you see the rap?
Racism has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Racism has got to go.
My name is Jada, and I'm here because I'm, personally affected by the racial climate here on this campus. I feel like it's an atrocity. Minorities really don't have a voice on this campus, and we're here to let ZBT, Tri Delta, the administration, and everybody know that we have a voice and we're interested in being heard. We have something to say. This is not acceptable, the way, that minorities are mocked in these exchange parties. And it's not cute and it's not cool. Like, we're not going to tolerate it.
Do you think that this is related all to the mascot that the university has here?
I definitely think that, it starts at the top, and it very well could be related to the mascot. I know that's an issue that everybody has, and we're, fighting over it, but I feel like, yes, parts of this could come from the way we mock, Native Americans and their culture, and, it's a trickle-down effect. The way we mock them is, now we have sororities and fraternities mocking, other cultures. And it was the same thing last year with the big booty hoes and ghetto bros party mocking African Americans. And then the article of the DI, one of the editorial cartoonists wrote, what will be next? Turban bros and Islamic hoes, this is not acceptable.
And what about the way that the administration, particularly the Dean of Students, has reacted or not reacted to this situation?
I actually did see Dean Riley. He came out. There were a lot of administrative faculty out here. I don't really know their stance on it. I personally don't feel like, administration has reacted well, but I do understand that it's really not in their jurisdiction to ban free speech. It's not, but we do want to see something change in the student code of conduct to make something happen.
Okay, and overall, how is the campus climate for people of color since you've been?
Horrible. It's hostile. People don't like being here. We have a lot of racist students, professors, faculty, and the Orange and Blue Observer. That's just one of the many ways.
As a people of color, you need to go ahead and stick together and make sure that this injustice doesn't happen to everybody, because actually this injustice has happened to people of African American descent last year with the ghetto thing. It was told not to be done again, scrutinized, and it was done again. And the university is not taking action on it. And so now that's why you come out with all the minorities now coming together, because if it's going to happen to one, that means that it's not going to just stop with the one. It's going to happen to all of us. The mascot is where it all started with the racism, and it was of even a smaller minority group. But now they're getting around. I mean, since they were so underpopulated here, the Native Americans. Now they're going on to bigger minority groups, and now since it's a lot more of us here, that they're gonna feel it. The discrimination is not random. They take stereotypes that they get from I don't know where. I mean, for black people, maybe BET, maybe they're just thinking of immigrants. I mean, not all black people nor all Hispanic or Latino people like this. I mean, we come from civilized backgrounds. We're just here trying to get an education to better our lives, to better our community, better our ethnic groups, and they're scared of it. They, as in the majority, if they feel like their power is being taken away from them, they're going to get intimidated.
And if I don't feel comfortable, I'm going to have to contact alumni, I'm going to have to contact the Princeton Review, I'm going to have to let other people know that I'm not comfortable on this campus.
We'll be out here again. I just want to know, how would the campus have reacted had the black or Latino students got together and had a white trash party?
I believe we would have responded the same way.
It wouldn't be an issue.
I know.
I was administration there to speak to the mass of people that did not were able to make it out here to this part of the rally. Why was the administration out there? Clearly you knew about it. You have letters in the folder that you read to us and you prepared.
I knew you were coming here and we're waiting for you here. I knew you were coming here and we're waiting for you here.
Why do we have to come to you?
I was waiting for you here, and I was afraid I would somehow miss you, or that no one would be here.